crossing a little bit from the right, so it's going to try to do what?
It's going to try to lift my right wing.
And it's going to try to push you down the valley that way.
Yep.
Just take a cut into it so that doesn't happen, all right?
Yep. Yeah, neutral right now.
Okay, we're going to wait to see what this is going to do here. Just hold it and get comfortable with it. Look at the top of Sand Mountain and the horizon together. That's your goal right there. You're going to manage that nose. All right, that's brake light. Clear!
Right.
And if it's coming out of the north,
We're going to approach from the south end.
Clear!
well, I've been told a lot of weird shit happens out there.
Good line.
So favor the south as much as possible.
Yes. Because you can see how the whole north end clear.
Woohoo!
Where?
Now he's pulling in hard for speed.
Good, there you go. That's written out.
Okay. Where are we now?
We're going to start with the nose wires
Okay.
because we have collapsible down tubes,
Okay.
so they spin. So if you don't start with the nose wires,
I'm gonna watch you, okay? Maybe I take a picture of this later. Just tell me I can help. Hold this.
not yet.
Oh, okay.
So you can see
Yeah.
this will line up,
Uh-huh.
and then the pins go front to back. Because as you're flying, all the pressure's from this way.
Mm-hmm.
So if this nut happens to come off, it's not going to push the bolt through, and you're going to lose the down tube.
You take that out.
Can't do this with gloves on anyway.
No. Hey, I'm determined to get out of small hill today.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'll take this.
Okay. Oi! Oh. Huh. So
That covers this.
okay.
And now the wings.
So we take this out yet?
Nope.
Okay. I'm gonna set it here. We'll pick it all up together.
So now it's the luff lines. Because you can see this is picking up the sail so that we keep it out of the mud.
Yes.
So black will be on right, white will be on left.
How do I know which one? The black and white? Oh, the tips right here. Oh, black on the right.
Yep.
Okay.
You will see some pilots that put them where they go.
Okay.
They'll put them here and then there. I don't like doing that because I'm clumsy and I step on things.
Uh-huh.
So I keep all mine next to my keel.
So it's go orderly from the length?
Right. But big one will go here next to the keel.
Okay.
So you'll see them put the big one here, then the next one. Like you can see where they go in the sail.
Ah, okay.
But I step on them when I do that. One side, then use the knot to pull the other. You got it. After 3, we tension it.
Oh, after the 3? Okay.
And what this does, if you go around front and look at the crossbars,
Okay. Oh.
so that cord
The cable pull down.
attaches right here.
Yeah.
So it runs the whole length of the glider through the pocket to the back because this is what gives the glider its shape.
Mm-hmm.
We keep the bags on while the tips are down.
Okay.
Once we tension it, the tips come up off the ground. Now we can take the bags off.
We're gonna take this out?
Yeah, the bags and then the rest of the bags. When you get to the last little straight one,
Yeah.
come watch me on this one.
Okay.
And then you can do that. So you can see with these washout struts,
Yeah.
you got an end that's worn
Uh-huh.
and one that's not.
Oh. Okay.
So you can see there's a wear hole
Yeah.
on this on
From
the
this?
sail. Exactly.
Okay.
So did you hear that sound it
Yeah.
made? That
Yep.
clunk?
Uh-huh.
It will make that every single time it goes in.
That tell you it's good.
Exactly.
Okay.
If you do not hear that sound, it's not in.
Okay.
Even if it just seems like you're wiggling it and it only goes a little bit, it will still make that sound
Okay.
because it's the aluminum hitting aluminum.
Uh-huh.
So it's two tubes hitting one another. You get that sound every single time it goes in.
Okay.
So then if you get over my shoulder here, see there's a pin.
Yes, yes.
here?
Uh-huh, I see it. Okay.
Just sets on it.
That's very simple.
Yep.
Wow. But it's flying.
And it holds.
Yeah.
I've never seen one come off. Okay, so now we do our pre-flight, make sure the glider's good. So since this is the last thing, the nose rib is the last thing that you put on, I start my pre-flight here. Because
Okay.
the glider's already up, I'm already looking at it. There's no sense in putting it back down, starting somewhere else, and then coming back to here.
Right.
So you check and make sure all your wires are straight.
Okay.
You can see you have an airfoil down both sides. If one of these battens didn't go in,
Okay.
or if one of the pockets was ripped,
Okay.
like it is there down on that side,
Right.
but if it was ripped up here,
Uh-huh.
this wing would show a deformity. Like it would be very obvious that one of the battens isn't where it should be. So you just want to eyeball it and make sure you have that nice smooth wing shape.
Right.
So then sail screws.
Mm-hmm.
This is what holds the sail to the leading edge. So these are important.
Right.
Then these. All of Will's Wings gliders are designed to be sight inspected. So you will see threads if the bolts are tight enough.
Yes.
Except these.
Mm-hmm.
See how it has a keyhole
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
and then a clasp here? These can be proud. Most of the time they're flush. They cannot be recessed. If they're recessed, it's too loose. It needs to be tightened. But if they're proud like this and you can see threads, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Flush is fine. Recessed, no good.
Okay.
It has to be tightened.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see this bolt holds this top wire
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
and these front wires and these nose wires.
Mm-hmm.
So that bolt is very important to holding the entire shape of the glider,
Right.
because you could see how loose it was,
Mm-hmm.
and I just put that one wire on in the back and it was tight.
Yeah.
So one of these not in place, obviously you don't have a glider anymore. So this can be flush or proud, not recessed. So then we check the keel, make sure it's straight,
What is the cue? I forgot. Oh, okay.
and then the leading edges. And what we're looking for is, see this reflection line here?
Yeah. See if it bent.
See how it's straight?
Yeah.
If there's a kink in it, that line will be broken.
Oh.
Like it won't be straight. If it's bent, that line will still be straight. But if there's a kink in it, there's a fold in it, that line won't be straight anymore.
Okay.
This is aircraft grade aluminum. A kink means it's already broken.
Wow.
So it may not show a crack, but if there's a crease in it where enough that this reflective line is broken, then the tube is broken. It can't be flown. So then we just follow the wires. Pins and rings. This pin is holding these wires and these wires again. So necessary. You can see we have threads again, just like up top. So that's good. Down here, since we have collapsible down tubes, not all of them will have these because they come in down to here and up top they go in the same way. So as long as the glider's put together, it's jammed in, and there's 8 inches of total space in these parts. There's like 4 3/4 down here and then 3 and something down here. So when they're together, the chances of them coming apart are almost zero.
Yeah.
When you're flying the mountain, check and make sure both of these pins are in. Because out here, your biggest is off 100 feet.
Right.
If something happens and it by some miracle falls apart, the chances of you dying aren't very good. I mean, you're going to take a good whack, but not be seriously hurt. Off the mountain, you're coming off of 1,300 feet. You definitely want to make sure that they're there.
Yeah.
So, follow the down tubes, make sure that these are there. These little pins and rings here are what hold the down tubes to the keel. Without those, you don't have a control frame, you don't have a glider, you don't fly.
Right.
So make sure that those are there, and you can see these bolts again. You can see threads, so they're tight. And then you can see that this is the king post. This bracket holds the king post on the top. And if you look down the keel, you can see that there's a screw here. There's threads on it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's tight.
Okay. So that's a pre-check from every fly?
Every flight,
Okay.
every flight you do the same thing. Then we check the wires. Icy. You want to make sure that the pocket is free and that the wires are tight. Ask about it. So then this strap, like how we had the screws in the front,
Yeah.
the little ones
Uh-huh.
that this holds the sail in the back.
Okay.
So this piece is the one that we pull on, and then you can see underneath it there's a piece that goes in the leading edge.
Okay.
Make sure that that's in the leading edge,
Okay.
because if that comes up, your sail comes up the leading edge.
Okay. When you say that P, which one? The black one?
The one that's in the black.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So then we're going to make sure our battens are where they should be. And now we're just checking to make sure that they're all doubled up.
Okay.
And now that you're back here, you're checking to make sure all your wires are straight again. But now you can see where it enters the king post. And you want to make sure that everything's there. 4 wires coming out. These are on and tight. This is locked. And then the same thing on this side. So when you do the pre-flight, going in a circle.
Okay, yeah. Like you just did?
Exactly. Don't go to one end
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and then come back to this side,
Right.
because eventually over time your brain's not going to develop a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And what you want to do is you want to lay a framework down so that if you go all the way around and you're having a conversation with somebody, if you forgot to do something, by the time you get back here, your brain is going to tell you you forgot something.
Yeah.
It may not tell you, oh, you didn't check that back,
Right.
but something isn't going to sit well.
Yeah.
And then just do it again.
Right.
Like, do it 5 times if you have to.
It's your life, right?
Exactly. Thank you. It's nice and smooth. And then your grip. Make sure your grip is light enough where you can control the glider, but strong enough where you're still.
Can you? Please?
Yeah, tighten your shoulders. So we're gonna make sure you have launches down before we talk about landing. Because remember, when you're coming in for the landing, well, since it's so wet, we'll go over landings now. Just remember, on launch, think about the launch. Stand upright, stay upright, you know, get that smooth acceleration so that you can get into the air. Then in flight, enjoy the flight for a couple seconds. And then when you're coming in for the landing, then think about the landing. But since it's so wet, we're gonna go over landing to see if you can start working it in. So remember how last time when I said you're leaning forward, you're pulling the glider down a little bit so the nose comes down and you end up running a little bit more than you need to. So if you stay upright, shoulders back, chest out, and you run and stay upright the whole time. In flight, you're upright. So start crossing your feet here, because that will keep your weight centered. So as long as your weight is centered, if the glider starts to move a little bit and you have to turn it, your whole weight comes with it. If your feet are like this, then you move to one side, this half stays on that side. So you're not really in control of the glider. So start by crossing your feet and staying upright. That's going to help you keep your weight a little bit behind you, so that when you're coming into the ground and your arms are down here, you come into what's called the round out. The shape of the flight is coming off the hill, coming up a little bit, then following the hill, and then coming across the ground. From the transition from coming down and then across the ground is called the round out. In that round out, you want to start slowing down. So we're pulled in when we start to run, we're pulled in when we get airborne, because that's all keeping the nose like this. So it's just keeping the nose from climbing, so that with that light grip, as you're running, the glider starts to fly, you're good, you're still pulled in, it flies, now it takes you with it, you're still pulled in, now you're flying on this nice even course because you kept the nose where it needs to be to take the wind. So as you start to slow down and you start to come down, ease the glider out. Don't let it go and don't push out. Just stop resisting it. Let the nose climb and you're going to slow down. The nose is going to go like this and the glider is going to change shape. So as it changes shape, you start to slow down. Just as you get ready to hit the ground, if you're upright, it'll be a step rather than laying down, because if you're upright, your feet obviously are going to hit before anything else. So when your first step is about to happen, you want to bring your hands up in a pronounced motion, so that on the second step you're pushing up.
Okay.
So that the glider is stopping. So what it is that when you hit that round out part of the flight, you're losing speed and you're losing energy.
Right.
So that when the glider goes to trim, which is neutral, so pulling in is like stepping on the gas, pushing out is stepping on the brakes, hands off is trim speed, and that's neutral. And you want to let the glider get to neutral before you put the brakes on. So the only time you ever push out in hang gliding is when you want to stop flying. So even if you're 3,000 feet over the ground and you push out, you're going to stall the glider. The glider's going to climb, it's going to stop flying, you're going to turn over and you're going to dive, which can be a lot of fun if you're at 3,000 feet.
Right.
You know, but you're still stopping the glider from flying.
I see.
So any other time, don't stop the glider from flying.
Right.
Unless you're landing and you want to stop the glider from flying.
Okay.
So there are times when you'll be in the air and you'll have to play with your speed in order to have a smooth-ish flight. But that just comes with experience.
Yeah.
So pulled in when you start to run, pulled in when you get into the air, and then as you start to come down, it's just ease it out a little bit. Just let the nose climb, so that now you're getting ready to come down. You're getting ready to take that first step. Bring your hands up, so that second step you're pushing straight up, stopping the glider. I would definitely recommend trying that.
Okay.
Because if you're upright the whole time and you're flying like this and your feet are crossed, your weight's going to be a little bit behind you because your feet are back this way. And they're also going to be the first things to touch the ground. So it may take a few before you get the timing right, but if you're upright and you're going and you've slowed down, you should just be able to run the glider out. It'll be like launching, but landing. So if you're upright and you're letting the glider slow down, just like on launch, just run.
Right.
And then let the glider climb.
Right.
it'll be a lot better than landing on your belly today. Because
Right.
as you can see, it's a
Yeah,
little wet out
yeah.
there. So give that a try. So we're gonna launch you from about here,
Uh-huh.
and you're gonna be looking at that standalone bush.
Okay.
So that's gonna be the straight line. If you look at that puddle, you're gonna fly to it. If you look at that puddle, you're gonna fly to it.
Okay.
So you line up straight and then take your sight line somewhere in those trees behind them.
Yes.
So that you imagine that walkway straight to the tops of those trees, so that you're upright and you're looking that way, so that when you're running, you run straight to those trees.
Yes.
If you fly straight, you'll land straight and you won't worry about either of the puddles.
Okay.
Buddy, glide is all yours. When you're ready, check left to right. Good.
Clear.
Clear. Walk. Jog. Now run. And keep running, keep running, keep running.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Good. Okay.
Yep. Glider's all yours when you're ready. Very good.
Clear.
Good. Walk. Jog. Now run. Keep that smooth acceleration. Good. So you can see with that one, you slowed down, so you didn't have to run as much when you landed. So, all right, buddy. So your launches are nice and strong.
Thank you, sir.
We're gonna come down a little bit, so you don't have so far to run. So you're maintaining that pitch really nicely. Your balance is nice and good.
Okay.
So remember, keep your hands down here
Yes,
where
sir.
they are now. Stay upright.
Yes.
Then when you come into that round out is when you want to let your hands up and slow down, and you'll stop running.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Glider's on you when you're ready.
Clear.
Good. Walk. Jog. Now run. Good acceleration. There you go. Good.
Whatever you're doing in checks,
Yep.
like once you're already a pilot, like a higher pilot, do you still have people help you do it like this, or you just like, how do
Good. So remember on this to get that good strong run, long strides, and really introduce energy into the glider.
between the pedals still?
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, clear.
Good. Walk. Jog. Just long strides and pulling. Let the glider fly. Good. There. Excellent. Much better.
Uh-oh. House.
Good. Hands up. Good. Okay, got it. That's all. Fine. If you weren't dreaming about it, you were still coming back on board,
Right. Sit here and look at the place for a minute.
Sure.
Don't fly anywhere without me.
Sure. This is it. This is the big hill I've been waiting for.